Alright guys, it is freaking scorching hot outside, so you're probably going to hear the AC running, and I'm driving. So the game ended about 30 minutes ago. Saints fall to the Buffalo Bills 31-19. Listen. The effort was there, okay? The effort was there, a complete 360 from last week. We came in, we played hard. We gave ourselves a chance in the fourth quarter. My favorite moment of the game was whenever to score temporarily for about 2 minutes, whenever it was on commercial break, and they were reviewing the Brandon Cooks catch in the end zone. When it said Saints 22, Bills 21 in the fourth quarter, that was my favorite part of the game, personally. And obviously they took the points off because it wasn't a catch. Anyway, the effort was there. This was kind of one of those games where, kind of like the first couple of weeks, you look at a bunch of the fundamental things and you say to yourself, well, if we were able to catch the damn ball, if we were able to get the interception, if we didn't freaking throw that trick play pass from Chris Olave, and maybe he decides to just slide down and take the loss for yards, maybe we give ourselves a better chance. Because, and I've said this, I'm going to continue to say it, we're going to lose a lot of games this year where you're going to look at a few plays and say, these were high percentage plays. We should have made those plays. Today, the plays that I'm referring to, Chris Olave dropped 2 passes. He threw an interception on that little gadget play on 3rd and goal. And Pete Werner dropped the easiest interception of his life. Those 4 plays are my takeaways for the game. You can also look at that 4th down. Whenever we were down 28-19, it was a pass to Kamara, and Kamara just, I don't know what he was doing. I get his game is like a finesse. He's shifty, he's quick. That's his style. He's not a 240-pound running back. He's not going to truck a guy. But in that situation, I really feel like he would have had a better chance if he just tried to outmuscle the guy that was in front of him, because he tried to do this little shifty move and he fell flat on his ass. And it was a turnover on downs. But, listen, I expected to lose the game. I'm not going to come on and complain and whine about losing 31-19 to my estimation, the best team in the NFL, whenever we were the worst team in the NFL. The question that I have now is, can we build on it? Can we build on the inspiring effort today and carry it into next week? You're at home against the Giants. I know the Giants just got done beating the Chargers, but I don't think the Chargers are all that good. I think we had a much tougher matchup than the Giants did. So are you going to be able to carry this inspiration into next week at home against a not-so-good Giants team? Because next week's going to be a winnable game. You're going to have a chance next week. Are you going to be able to actually show a result next week, or are you going to fall flat on your ass again? Because in the life of a bad team in the NFL, what bad teams tend to do is they'll throw you a bone and then they come right back down to earth. So the Saints played a competitive game today, but who's to say they don't go home next week against the Giants and fall flat on their ass and just look like shit again? Who's to say that doesn't happen? So, in my eyes, at this point, I want to see progress. I want to see that you're building towards something. I don't want to see I don't want to see the Saints go home next week and lose 24-13 in an uninspiring effort, in a hapless, miserable game to a Giants team who's starting Jackson Dart for the second week in a row. And don't get me wrong, I know the Giants just won and they got something to build on too. I get it. But you just got done playing the best team in the NFL, okay? And you were on the road and you hung with them for 3.5 quarters. You need to go home next week and get a freaking win. I don't think that's even it's not a request, it's a demand at this point. You need to go home next week and get a freaking win, because if you don't win next week, I don't know if there's any winnable games really on the schedule until you play Carolina or the Jets, somebody like that. And that's not till later on in the year. So if you don't win next week, I don't know that you're going to win a game for the first 10 weeks. And if you can't beat the Giants, the Giants, and I'm sorry, I know Jackson Dart, this and that, but the Giants are about as abysmal as any team in the NFL, regardless of the fact that they just got to win. If you can't beat them on your home field and win in the ugliest way possible, you might have to start having that conversation, bro. You might have to start having that conversation about whether or not this team will win any games this year. And I hate to be that guy, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I just want to win a game or two. That's it. I just don't want to be the worst team in NFL history. And I think we will win a game, but geez, it sure would be good if you can get it done early so you can kind of relax for the rest of the year and say, hey, we won our game. Now we have no pressure of becoming the worst team in NFL history. Just go out there and, whatever. So that being said, guys, we are 0-4. The Bills are 4-0. And let's try and get a win next week. We got the most winnable game coming up that we've had so far against the Giants. I think the every team that we've played, I think, is better than the Giants. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we can get a win next week. We'll see. I hope we do it. Anyway, I'm out, guys. Later.